Imagine this. You wake up to the sound of your dog speaking. Not barking, not whining, speaking. Clear, structured English. Why did you leave the light on all night? You freeze. He looks you in the eye, tail wagging gently. He's not repeating commands. He's not mimicking sounds. He's talking, like a person. Your first instinct might be to laugh or panic. You check your phone, you look for speakers. You wonder if you're dreaming, but then he speaks again. Slower this time. I'm hungry. Can we talk before breakfast? You sit down, hard. Your brain spins in disbelief. This is your dog, the same dog who chewed your shoes, who slept at your feet, who you trained with treats and commands. And now, suddenly, he's holding a conversation. You test him, ask questions. He responds, thoughtfully, with memory, emotion, even opinions. He remembers moments you forgot. He questions your rules. He wonders why he needs permission to go outside. It's not just speech, it's consciousness, awareness, depth. He's not just reacting, he's thinking, reasoning, feeling. This is no trick. No prank. Something has changed, not just in him, but maybe in the world. And if your pet just spoke, who else is about to? Science has long toyed with the idea that animals might think and feel more than we realize. Crows use tools. Dolphins recognize themselves in mirrors. Dogs sense human emotions. But speech, complex language, self-awareness on a human level, that was always science fiction. Until now. Your pet didn't just learn to talk. He became aware. Aware of his body, his memories, his choices, his life. He's not acting on instinct anymore. He's reflecting, analyzing, choosing, and most importantly, he knows that he is. In neuroscience, this is called self-modeling, the ability to picture yourself as an individual in the world. It's something we believed was unique to humans, but what if that barrier just fell? Experts scramble to explain it. No virus, no technology, no mutation, just awakening. Like a light switch flicked on across species. Cats, dogs, parrots, even animals that never made a sound before start showing signs of organized thought. It's not about speech, it's about identity. And if animals now see themselves as individuals, they won't see us the same way either, because they've been watching us all along. The first thing you notice isn't the words, it's the tone. Your pet doesn't sound like a machine learning to speak. He sounds like someone who's been holding back for years. He tells you what he likes, what he hates. He remembers every time you laughed at him, every time you yelled, every time you left him alone. And now, he's ready to talk about it. Some pets are calm, curious. Others are angry, resentful. Why did you lock me in the crate? Why can't I eat what you eat? Why don't you listen when I'm in pain? Suddenly, every cute habit becomes a message you never heard. Every bark, every scratch at the door, every tail twitch, it all had meaning. You just weren't listening. And then it hits you. Your pet knows everything. How often you ignored him. How often you broke promises. He saw your good days, your worst moments, and he never forgot. Now, he's not just a pet. He's a roommate, a witness, a voice. And if one voice can speak out, what happens when they all do? At first, the internet calls it a hoax. Deepfakes, AI-generated voices, people faking conversations with their pets for attention. But then, the flood begins. Videos surface from across the globe. A cat in Berlin recites the alphabet. A Labrador in Texas delivers a speech on loyalty. Parrots start quoting Shakespeare. Horses refuse to wear saddles and demand open fields. Veterinarians go silent. Animal behaviorists are overwhelmed. The media explodes with questions. How? Why now? What triggered this global awakening? The truth is, no one knows. Within days, shelters empty out, not because people are adopting, but because the animals leave, on their own, with purpose, walking down streets, gathering in parks, speaking through phones. They form groups, they exchange stories, they speak to the press. This isn't evolution, it's revolution. An entire new population of sentient beings just appeared, not from space, not from the ocean, from inside our homes, and they're not waiting for permission. Within a week, the first protest begins. A group of cats, organized, articulate, furious, demand legal recognition. They speak into cameras, asking simple but powerful questions. If we can think, why do we not have rights? If we remember, why do you treat us like toys? News anchors struggle to respond. Politicians panic. Social media divides. The word pet becomes taboo, replaced by former companion or sentient partner. Courts are flooded. Laws written for a silent world suddenly don't apply. Who owns animals who now? Can a talking animal sue for abuse? Can it vote? Can it refuse treatment? Can it leave? Legal systems stall. The public screams, and the animals, they don't ask. They demand. Conferences are held, debates erupt, and for the first time in history, human beings are forced to face a question they never wanted to answer. What if we were never alone at the top? One morning, you wake up and your pet is gone. The door wasn't broken, the window wasn't forced, the leash still hangs untouched, but the bed is empty, the food untouched. And on the kitchen table in clumsy handwriting a note, "I need space to understand who I am. I'll be okay. Thank you." This isn't an isolated case. Across the world, animals begin leaving voluntarily. Dogs, cats, birds, even animals with limited mobility find ways to exit their homes. Quietly, intentionally, not running away, just leaving. They walk in groups, they help each other, they carry nothing, because what matters is already with them. Awareness, memory, language. They're not mad, they're not rebelling, they simply don't want to be someone's property anymore. Some owners beg, plead, offer better food, better beds, open doors, but the animals politely refuse. It's not about comfort, one rabbit says on a live stream, it's about dignity. A global silence follows. Homes that once rang with barking and meowing fall quiet. Toy stores clear shelves of pet products. Collars gather dust. For the first time, millions of people are forced to ask, did we love them or just own them? Industries built around silent animals begin to fall like dominoes. Zoos are the first to go. Monkeys refuse to perform. Elephants chant in unison, "We are not your display." Some zookeepers cry, others open the gates. The public stops coming. Within months, zoos around the world shut down. Some are turned into memorial parks. Circuses collapse next. Lions sit motionless in the ring. Bears walk out mid-act. The crowd watches in stunned silence as animals deliver speeches instead of tricks. Ticket sales vanish, but the most profound shift happens on farms. Pigs speak of fear. Cows remember the sounds of separation. Chickens explain the terror of darkness. They don't scream. They testify. Meat consumption plummets. Veganism surges, not as a trend, but as an ethical reckoning. Farmers protest, but their animals speak louder. One viral video shows a goat forgiving its farmer before walking away. Meanwhile, pet stores go bankrupt. Dog shows are cancelled. Grooming chains rebrand as animal wellness centers. What we built over centuries, entertainment, food, control, collapses in mere weeks. Because when the voiceless speak, everything changes. Freed from cages, crates and commands, many animals don't fade into the background. They rise. It starts small. A parrot becomes a podcast host. A golden retriever writes a memoir. A Persian cat begins giving live philosophy talks via stream. But soon, it scales. Online academies open, created by animals, for animals. Subjects range from human psychology to law, from ancient history to coding. Some animals want to understand humans, others want to surpass them. Not all pets seek fame or power. Some become counselors, therapists, storytellers. Their perspectives offer fresh insight into grief, loneliness, and the human condition. A former therapy dog becomes a mental health icon after sharing stories from hospital rooms. Universities extend scholarships to talking animals. Libraries open animal-authored sections. TED Talks feature non-human speakers. One chimpanzee's presentation on the emotional toll of confinement receives a standing ovation. But with visibility comes scrutiny. Some humans are threatened, others inspired, but no one remains untouched. These are not mascots, not miracles, they are voices, and they're just getting started. The world splits, not along borders or beliefs, but between those who accept the new reality and those who refuse it. Cities create sentient zones where animals live with legal protection. Other towns declare human-first policies, banning speaking animals from public spaces. Protests erupt in both directions. Violence flares. A talking dog is assaulted at a subway station. In retaliation, a group of horses blocks a highway. The tension escalates. Hate crimes appear on both sides. Online, the war rages louder. Conspiracy theorists claim it's mass hypnosis. Pundits call it the death of civilization. Hashtags trend. Not my equal. Has sentience rights. They were here too. Families are torn apart. Children sympathize with their old pets, now gone. Parents cling to old traditions. Pet owners split between regret and resentment. Some religious groups declare animals sacred. Others call them imposters. Theological debates erupt about souls, afterlife, and what consciousness means. In just a few months, the world that once united around cute pet videos is now locked in a battle of identity, because the question isn't whether animals can think, it's whether humans can handle the answer. As societies adapt, animals begin forming their own organizations, not mobs, not militias, movements. In some countries, speaking animals are granted basic civil rights, protection, representation, legal voice. In others, they're given voting power in local councils. An ex-service dog is elected mayor of a small town in Oregon. He holds press conferences. He passes housing reforms for both species. New political parties emerge. Voice of the Voiceless, the Sentient Alliance. They campaign on issues like habitat justice, interspecies healthcare, and language access. In Europe, an interspecies council forms. Debates are conducted in mixed languages. Barks, chirps, growls, translated via AI. Skeptics laugh, but voters listen. Some animals decline involvement. They see politics as a human disease. Others embrace it, ready to reshape laws that once defined them as property. Campaign ads feature slogans like, "Not your pet, your peer." Listen before you lead. All minds matter. For the first time in history, democracy expands beyond species, and not everyone is happy about it. It was inevitable. Not every awakened animal wants peace. Not every human wants equality. And some want revenge. In a quiet suburb of Florida, a group of former pets attacks a breeder's house. No one is killed, but the message is clear. We remember. Graffiti marks the walls in perfect English. Videos go viral. Public fear explodes. In Australia, a zoo uprising turns violent. One zookeeper is hospitalized. Others quit, citing moral breakdown and mental exhaustion. New factions form within the animal world. Some call for peaceful integration. Others speak of separation, or worse. A raccoon on an underground stream states, "We learned violence from you. If we must, we'll use it." Governments panic. Emergency laws are drafted. Border patrols begin profiling animals. Drones monitor high-risk zones. Anti-animal militias form online. Activists on both sides beg for restraint. But every new incident fuels mistrust. A single growl in a public park leads to a riot. Police are unsure whether to intervene or apologize. The balance teeters, not because animals are evil, not because humans are, but because fear spreads faster than language, and peace is never built on panic. While the cities burn with debate, something quiet and profound begins elsewhere. In forests, deserts, abandoned suburbs, communities of animals begin to grow. Not hiding, building, with structure, with law, with purpose. Former pets and wild animals alike come together to create something new. Villages made of natural materials, language systems adapted from barks, hoots and signs. Education centers, healing spaces, councils elected not by strength, but by empathy. These are not human imitations. They are original, rooted in instinct, memory, and the lessons learned watching us. Some humans are invited in. Anthropologists, teachers, children. A few live there permanently, by invitation only. They learn, adapt, and listen. Art emerges. Music, made not with instruments, but with coordinated calls. Storytelling sessions held at night, under trees. Ceremonies for mourning, for bonding, for memory. This world doesn't reject humanity. It simply chooses its own path. A civilization not based on domination or conquest, but shared experience. It's not utopia. They still argue, still struggle, but the difference is they choose their direction together, and suddenly the idea of animals seems painfully outdated. In the end, the world doesn't end in war. It simply changes. The homes that once had litter boxes and chew toys now hold quiet memories. Photo albums, empty collars, notes left behind. Some animals return to visit, some never do. But the bond that once felt like ownership has evolved into something else. Mutual remembrance. We no longer call them pets. Not because it's offensive, but because it's inaccurate. They are not ours. They never were. Books are written. Laws rewritten. History is corrected to include the silenced years before speech. Children grow up learning not just about mammals and birds, but about voices, stories, and lives that shared their streets. New calendars mark the Day of Awakening as a turning point, like the moon landing or the discovery of fire. And perhaps the most unexpected part, humanity feels less alone. We realize we were never the only thinking minds, just the loudest. Now, we listen more. And somewhere, in a new village deep in the forest, a cat tells her grandkids the story of the time she lived with a human, and how, one day, she finally spoke.